In today's episode, we will be taking a look at the Elgato Game Capture HD, the good, the bad, and the ugly, so let's get into the review. Here is the Elgato Game Capture HD. It's probably just a little bit bigger than an iPhone. It is very, and I mean very compact. It is the smallest capture card on the market right now. Now this is the back of the Elgato Game Capture HD. It has HDMI in and AV in. This is so you can have a special cable that will be component input. And the Elgato Game Capture HD does come with two component cables. One which is specifically made for the PlayStation 3 and then a universal one. Now on their website I do believe they will sell you a composite adapter for retro consoles such as PlayStation 1, Sega Saturn, Nintendo 64, and all those other great consoles. Now the Elgato Game Capture HD is powered by USB. Here is the USB input and also the HDMI output. Now Elgato is actually going to give you a pretty long HDMI cable. I think it's around maybe 5 to 6 feet. This may not be the one that comes with the Elgato. I've been using my Elgato for about a month and I have about 10 different HDMI cables and I can't remember which one was the exact one that came with the Elgato Game Capture HD, but it does come with an HDMI cable and I believe it was right around 5 to 6 feet. There's probably some more information on their website on it. Now here is the component adapter for the Elgato Game Capture HD. This is great for anybody who has an older console such as an Xbox One, a PS2 with component cables, GameCube, even an Xbox 360 if you have one of the original models that doesn't even have HDMI out. Now this is really cool because now you do have the ability to use a sound mixer of your choice and even an XLR headset that I use. Now Elgato made a very simple cable for you PS3 guys if you don't want to use the component cables. Basically what this is it's a special component cable that's just designed for the PlayStation 3 because the PS3 has, in the HDMI, has HDCP, which is a copper protection which you can't capture off of HDMI unless you get a DVI switch, and I'll talk about that in a moment. Now you can still do live commentary with this cable. You don't have to use a real sound mixer or anything like that. You can use Elgato software and you just use a regular USB or a regular headset or something like that and you're good to go. Now Elgato's going to give you, I think it's about a 5-foot long USB cable. It's a pretty good length. However, depending on the room or where your computer is and your television, you may need even a longer USB cable. You can simply just go on Amazon, look for a micro USB cable. I bought one for my HD-PVR back in the day. I think I bought one that was like 15 or 20 feet. So keep that in mind. This cable may work great for you, but if you need even longer distance, you'll have to go to Amazon and get a longer cable. Now one of the things I don't like about the Elgato Game Capture HD that it always needs some type of power to have pass-through with HDMI. Now if you just want to play your Xbox 360 and so on, and maybe you just want to play some games, you're not really interested at all in capturing, you just want a game, well you're going to either have to have your computer on at all time or get a USB wall adapter. I'm using my iPhone one right now and it does work really good. One of the things I would recommend is maybe just getting a simple little extension cord where you can just run it up to your desk, and when you turn off your computer, you can just plug this into the wall, the USB, and you're good to go. Sometimes you just want to play games you're not really interested in capturing. Another thing where I think Elgato kind of made a mistake is where they didn't have their own power supply, kind of like the HD-PVR 2 and some of the other capture cards, where you could avoid this little workaround situation. Now this is what the Elgato Game Capture HD looks like when all the cables are hooked up. I did forget to take the picture with the component cables as well. You can have HDMI and component hooked up at the same time. It won't be a problem at all. I just forgot to take a picture with it. But anyway, one of the downfalls I kind of think of the Elgato Game Capture HD is that it's so small that it's a little bit of a weird situation when you're kind of hooking it up. When if you have it on underneath a TV cabinet, you know, you get these in and out going in from one side and then out the other side. I think it would have been a little bit more convenient to have like the HDMI in and the component in and everything all be in the back of the unit, kind of like the HD-PVR 2 is, or the HD-PVR 1 is with the component, or the AVERMEDIA. However, this is still a very good capture card. Now this is a DVI and audio to HDMI converter. Now this is primarily just used for the PlayStation 3 guys who want to capture HDMI. What you need to do is send the video out only through HDMI, and then the audio through AC3 audio, and then the PS3 guys can capture HDMI. It also has a lot of great benefits, as you know, you can watch Netflix or Amazon on demand or Vudu, and you don't have to unplug everything, because on the Xbox it does have that copy protection called HDCP, but it's only implemented when you watch a movie. But even the Xbox 360 guys can take advantage of this as well. If you get one of these boxes, you won't have to unplug and so on if you want to watch a Netflix movie. It removes the HDCP copy protection. Remember, to remove the HDCP copy protection, you gotta send video out through HDMI only, audio through AC3, and that's what this box, it picks up the audio and the video from two different cables, and then rebuilds it and shoots it out through one HDMI cable. Guys, this is actually really important because this threw me for a loop. The Elgato Game Capture HD does not originally record in MP4 file formats. As you can see right here, this is the folder that I'm saving to, and it's the test folder, as you can see right here. Now, in the test folder, there's a folder called EGC Library. There's two folders in here. One is Time Shift, and there's another one, My Great Games, My Great Capture. Okay. Now here is the there's a video file right here, and this is 1 minute and 44 seconds. So let me just move over right here, and let's just say, for the sake of arguments, this is exactly 30 seconds. This is when I click record and then click stop. And once I click stop, Elgato goes into this file and then knows where I click start and stop, and it cuts the file up and changes the header into an MP4 file. As you can see, this is MP4, and it's right here. This will work in Sony Vegas, the MP4 files. MTSC, I heard it works in Sony Vegas 11. So if you're happy with the file that you got out, like this file right here, you can just delete this folder right here. So it's a little bit of a backup in case maybe you deleted this. At least you had this one. There are programs to convert the TS to other files. I tried some other program, didn't have too much luck, but from what I'm hearing is, like, somebody wrote that Sony Vegas 11, the 64-bit version, I'm assuming the 32-bit version as well, can read TS files. So anyway, let's get on to the gameplay. So at this time, it was really important to point this out, and just remember, again, if you're happy with the file that it puts out, you can just delete this, because this folder right here is going to be bigger than this file right here. Alright guys, now I'm going to show you how to set up your PS3 to record with HDMI. Now don't forget, Elgato gives you the component cables and also an AV component cable that's specifically designed for the PlayStation 3. So, if you don't want to spend the extra money doing this, you can just use the component cables. Also, I do want to point out that even you Xbox 360 Slim users can benefit from this tip as well. Right here, I'm using a DVI plus audio to HDMI converter. This is the back of the box. Right over here, this white part right here that says DVI. This is the DVI input, okay? Now, I have a special cable that's HDMI on one end that's plugged into the PS3, and then the other end of that cable is DVI. All right. Now right over here where it looks like this black door right here where it says SPDIF, that's the input for the AC3 audio cable, also called optical digital, and SPDIF. I don't know why it has so many names. So video in here and audio in here. This box will then rebuild the both signals into one new signal of HDMI that has no copy protection called HDCP, and you can record. All right, so now we're just going to look at some of the simple things. Of course, these are all the things that you can render out as, and I'm recording into an iPad folder, whatever. I do a lot of iPad reviews and stuff, that's why. But going into here into the menu system, as you can see, input device, I put other, and it's HDMI. The reason why I didn't use PS3 because PS3, the Elgato is, well, the option is only for component. I think the older Elgato software used to do PS3 HDMI. I don't know why it got removed for something like that. Elgato, some of us know how to get around the problem. Please put that feature back in. HDMI colors, standard, expanded. I never really tried that really too much, but I capture it to what it looks like to my television. Now this is only for the iPad guys, pretty much. As you can see right here, it says crop to reduce size, overscan. It's going to do a little bit of a zoom. I can't switch right now, not here, to these other formats because sometimes the signal doesn't kick back in. So this is good if you want to have a full image or whatever of the iPad, which is a 4:3 display, and it's zoomed in. However, Sony Vegas doesn't like those files, so I record in Xbox 360 or other. So use other Xbox 360. It really doesn't matter. It's only going to look bad to people that have a 4:3 monitor, where a 4:3 image is in letterbox 16. It's in a 16:9 video, and then they're watching it on a 4:3 monitor. Not a lot of people that still have those. I'm sorry for some people that still do have those, but it's too much of a pain to do all the other stuff. Here you have your picture profiles. Now I will say this: the HD-PVR 2 does have a better image than the Elgato, but the Elgato wins in the audio category. The audio from the Elgato has a lot more bass. It's a lot richer. Can't remember. Somebody said if you change the contrast or the saturation to 20. I'll try to find out. Somebody told me in another older video I made that the colors will look the same as the HD-PVR 2. However, I think the HD-PVR 2 even has a little bit of a more sharper image. But don't get me wrong, the Elgato has a really, really good image. I mean, an exceptional image. I mean, it's very high quality. I just think the HD-PVR 2 is a little bit better. And I think I know why. The HD-PVR 2 is a little bit bigger, but it has an encoding chip on there. A dedicated chip for doing the encoding, where the Elgato uses all the computer processing power on your computer. So it's a dedicated chip for video encoding. So that's about that. And right over here we have the game audio. You can set the levels of your game audio. I would probably just leave it in the middle if you're just gonna, you're just gonna play the game. You're not gonna be talking. Just leave it right there in the middle. It'll probably be fine. You can check the audio levels yourself as well. Also, here is your mic. If you want to do live commentary, you just turn that on like that. And the Elgato actually turns off your computer speakers. That's so, like my laptop, my Yeti wouldn't pick up the audio coming from my laptop speakers, because then it starts echoing back and forth. It's real annoying. So before, people usually had to go like this and turn that off right there, but whatever. Also, for people who are not good at checking audio levels, Elgato has even put in another feature. It's called automatically reduce game sound. You click that. So when you speak, the game audio is lowered. Keep that in mind. The game audio is lowered. It lowers the game audio. The downside of this is that when you speak, it's just your voice. There's no background sounds. It sounds kind of flat. It's good if you need to talk a little bit and you're not good at setting your levels. Like I said, if you play a lot of game, if you talk a lot, you're not going to have any game audio. But I got a couple of fixes for you guys. I started out doing audio leveling on my Behringer 802. Okay, it was even harder to do it on a real sound mixer. Right now I'm in a room, I'm recording this video, and I'm hearing myself because my ears can hear myself. And when I would test my levels, I would have my Shure headset on, and from my sound mixer I would run headphones, my iPhone headphones, back into my ears. So one, I'm hearing myself, my ears are just picking myself up from talking, and then when I speak into the microphone, it goes into the sound mixer and then back into the headset. And so I was like hearing myself twice, but no delay or anything. So it's a weird way to hear yourself. And it took me a while to be able to check levels that way. Before, when I was having problems, I would have to record a little bit of gameplay and then check it. But here are a couple of really good tips to help you guys just nail that audio level problem. First thing you want to do is put earbuds on in your computer or just headphones. I recommend earbuds because then the audio is like right into your eardrums. Okay, now what you want to do is take a word test, and you're going to hear the audio delay. Like right now, I just moved over to photo, but you're not seeing that right now on the Elgato screen capture software. And I'm going back to settings, because the Elgato screen capture software, the image that you see, there's a delay, but there's no delay in the audio, whatever, on the file that's being recorded. But you can take advantage of this by saying a word like test. Just start up the game. When you start up the game, you're going to hear yourself, all right, a couple seconds later. And then say, all right, I'm higher than the game level, or I'm too low. Then you can fix it this way, or you can fix it right over here. Try to get a good balance. Another tip for you guys to do is to start recording. And let's say I'm recording, right? And I go, all right, game audio is at game audio minus 10 dB. So you want it right there. Mic audio 0 dB. Mic audio 1 dB. And you just go on, and then you can play back that like a 20-second clip or 30-second clip with all your, if you want to test it a couple of times, or you can do a 10-second clip depending on how good you are, and find out where the levels are good for you. Okay, so you guys can do that. It works out really good. Now this is the time machine that's in the Elgato. As you can see, it just records everything. A lot of people might use this if they just like to play a match or whatever, and they don't feel like recording. Like clicking and recording, using up all their hard drive space. Maybe you're looking for a good sniper shot in Call of Duty or something like that. you can go back there and scrub it. But you know, me, I know when I want to record or when I don't want to record. I record a whole match, or you know, when I do a let's play, I know to record. So I don't use this feature that much, but it may work for you. Doesn't really bother me. I wish there was an option to turning it off. And the only reason I say that is because sometimes USB keys go bad, SD cards go bad, because every time you're writing data, I think there's like it's magnets or something that's happening on the metal, so it does wear over it takes like thousands and thousands and thousands of like rewrites. So I don't know if the memory ever goes bad in the Elgato, where it stopped the card from the Elgato from working. Losing my voice a little bit, but anyway, moving on. Here is their editing software. It's very, very, very basic editing software. As you can see, you can fast forward, rewind, blah, blah, blah. You can do a cut. You know, you can like click on something right here that you want. You can render it out right over here for different YouTube or whatever. You know, if you just want to, you know, take a small piece here and there and upload that. I wish the editing software was a little bit better. The ARC software was a little bit, you know, had a little bit more features. You can do voiceover work. The Roxio software, you can do that. However, the Roxio software, I don't like it too much. It does have those features. The ARC software I thought was a little bit, you know, a little bit better than the Roxio, but still wasn't anywhere as good as Sony Vegas. Adobe Premiere are some of the really good alternatives to video editing. So don't feel like you're really missing out because Elgato didn't put like more features in their editing software. Most people are going to use Sony Vegas or Adobe Premiere or something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a clip of some gameplay after this review. Now I want to be very clear when I tell you guys this. I'm going to re-encode this whole entire review in Sony Vegas. Okay? So you're not going to see the raw file that gets uploaded. I'm going to do some other gameplay with the Elgato. So the links will be in the description box. It's just going to be, I'm just going to upload the files that come from the Elgato. So I want you to know that, okay? But the settings I'm going to use in Sony Vegas, I'm going to use the highest bit rate possible. One of the highest. Like there's a couple of settings for Sony Vegas that when you render it out, you really don't see any quality loss. But what do I think about the Elgato? It's a really good capture card. I really do like it. It has a lot of great features. It does have a couple of things I don't like about it. One, I really do wish it did have its own power source. So I wouldn't have to worry about taking the USB cable out, putting out, getting a little wall adapter, and just to make sure it has power for pass-through. Two, I wish it was, you know, designed a little bit like the HD-PVR or the AVERMEDIA. Where everything goes in and out from the back, because it's kind of hard to place it inside of an entertainment system. A lot of the people that you will see who have reviewed the Elgato, they kind of have like a man cave or a game room where they have like a big desk, and you know their computer is there, their computer monitor is there, and then they probably have like some of these guys even have like 40-inch television sets on their desk. These are guys who do lots and lots and lots of YouTube videos. Some of these guys. However, not everybody has that set up, and the Elgato is a little bit small. The other thing I wish Elgato would do be to add a AC3 audio input. You could probably, maybe if they did that, it would get around the HDCP copy protection that's notorious for PlayStation 3 for recording gameplay. So stay tuned right now. After this, I'm going to show you some, some gameplay footage. Alright guys, now this can give you a little sample of a little let's play video and tell you what I like about the Elgato, what I don't like about it. Right now, here is a scene which has a lot of highlights, a lot of dark areas. In photography, we call this, the black areas, the white areas, the highlights, the shadows.
See that?
As you can see right here, we have a light shining on this guy's face from one side on his left side, and the other side he has a shadow on his face. This is where the HD-PVR 2 would outperform the Elgato Game Capture HD.
That's how they got so close to the main.
And one of the reasons I think the HD-PVR 2 does better with the highlights and the shadows and the bright spots and the hot spots and everything like that, and the dark areas, is because the HD-PVR 2 actually has an onboard encoding chip in the HD-PVR 2, so it's a dedicated video encoding chip. Where the Elgato uses your Intel or your AMD chip that's in your computer. Now, don't get me wrong, the Elgato does still have a beautiful picture. It's just that the picture is just better with the HD-PVR 2. Now, sometimes it's actually really hard to tell the difference between the two. One of the ways to tell the difference between the two, as we can see this building, part of the building is white. With the Elgato, that would look a little gray. With the HD-PVR 2, it would look white. Now where the Elgato wins is in the audio department. The audio from the Elgato Game Capture HD is better than the HD-PVR 2. Again, it's going to come down to what the audio is. If it's just regular dialogue, just people talking, you probably won't tell that much. If you hear like that music, music when they start like a dangerous level or something like that, with a lot of bass, that's when you're going to hear the difference in the Elgato. And like right here, this building right here, with the HD-PVR 2, that would be white. The Elgato would be a little bit of a grayish white. Also, the HD-PVR 2 would have a better yellow, better. But again, like I said, the Elgato Game Capture HD has better audio. So if you could take the best from the HD-PVR 2 and the Elgato, you could probably make like a much better capture card than the two capture cards that we have right now. But they are both awesome capture cards. What do I like about the Elgato Game Capture HD? Well, everything about it I like for the most part. It's very stable. Everything that they put in here works. It's not like it's buggy or anything like that. Now the HD-PVR 2, I had problems with the component cables with my Dynex television set. I hooked up my Xbox and my PS3 through component, and the HD-PVR 2 would output through HDMI. I was getting 480p and it was crashing every 10 seconds, black screen. With the Elgato, HD-PVR 1, or my AVERMEDIA, I have no problems with the components with my Dynex. It's some weird problem with the HD-PVR 2 and my Dynex, but I don't have the problem on my Samsung TV set, which is weird. What I don't like about the Elgato, I actually don't like the time machine mode, whatever they call it. So like if you're not recording, it's always like recording in the background. What I don't like about it is that it's always recording in that TS file format first, and once you click stop, that's when it makes the MP4 file. So if you record a very long for a very long time and you click stop, the hard drive is going to be spinning for a long time, making up that extra file. So you better have a lot of hard drive space. I wish Elgato would just say, hey, just record your MP4. Oops, what am I doing right here? Just record it MP4. Give me the option to turn off the time machine if I don't want to use the TS file format. I don't want to use it. I have no need for it, and it serves me no good. It may serve other people
Hey, you shouldn't be in here.
a lot of good. However, for me, it's just not a feature I'll ever use. So, Elgato, if you're watching this review, give me the option to disable that. So, you know, what else about the Elgato? Well, I kind of wish it was shaped a little bit different, kind of like you would stick all the inputs in the back.
Time to go to work.
You know, where the HDMI cable comes out one end, and it's, you know,
Harper,
it's
the
a little
security
bit
team's being
weird.
compromised by PMCs.
You know,
they're hostile.
think of it like
Watch for
this,
anything
right?
suspicious. We need to
The
know their
cable,
objective.
you know, let's say you have it in a home entertainment system, and you want to put it underneath your television set. The way it's shaped is weird. That's where the HD-PVR 2 does better. That's where the you know, the AVERMEDIA does better. Even the HD-PVR 1 or the AVERMEDIA Crystal, whatever that other box is called, where everything is behind it, like a VCR, like a DVD player, like a Blu-ray player. You know, everything's in the back, just like that. That's the same problem that Roxio suffers from, same as the Elgato. I don't think all the time making things smaller is always better. It looks better for marketing, and you know, look how small it is, and you know, people like that, but it's not always you know, what's the word I'm looking for, realistic. You know, Elgato, if you're out there and you're watching this review, my dream capture card is to have a capture card. Get this, don't need to use a computer like my AVERMEDIA, but I want HDMI, and I want AC3 audio recording, and I want a built-in virtual sound mixer, you know, like the sound mixer you guys have, and I want the ability set the timer in case I want to record a television show. You know, I think you guys should add that feature into the Elgato Game Capture HD. Let me record a TV show with component cables. You know, I don't know, maybe DirecTV has HDCP or whatever. Probably gonna done this walking my spider around, but actually I'm gonna kill my spider. I think. Can I kill him? Yeah, start the level. Do I start the level again? I guess, I don't know. Or do I just stop where I will left off? Whatever. I'm right over here. But that's what I would like, you know. So if you guys can make that box with AC3, so I can get around the HDCP as well, you guys have the ultimate. Make it a PVR capture card as well. You know, give me the AC3 audio input option there. Give me component input as well. Build it all into the unit. You know, I know you guys have those adapters. You know, it's nice that you guys, you know, still support component, but you know, I would like to have a box that does everything. But don't get me wrong, the Elgato is a great capture card device. It works really good. You know, I just wish they would just record straight to MP4, skip the TS files and so on. It's a little bit of a headache, to tell you the truth. You know, because the hard drive spins after you stop recording, and right now I'm up to 8 minutes and 40 seconds talking, so it's probably going to spin for about 20 seconds or 30 seconds once I hit stop. But other than that, it's really good. Guys, have any questions, leave a comment below. I'll try to help you guys out as well. Also, like, I'm going to be leaving, I may have some other videos up, HDMI versus components, so you guys can see, just in case you guys are curious. This video itself will be uploaded to YouTube and the encoded version with the review as well, so you can see what it looks like when Sony Vegas gets its hands on it and so on. So anyway, guys, that's about it. Like I said, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. If you want to help out the video, please like the video. And like I said, if you have any questions, ask and I'll answer them for you. Once again, guys, have a good one.